Welcome back, everyone, to the Basketball Plays YouTube channel. Today is Friday, December 27th, and I am back for some more bowl games on the Friday slate of games. We're going to be talking about two more bowl games today. We have Texas Tech going up against Arkansas. Then we're going to be looking at Texas A&M going up against USC, a couple player props as well. Before we do that, let's take a look at the games that we had on Thursday afternoon. A little sweep before we get into Friday games and the weekend. Two fantastic games. Toledo plus 6.5. I did say in the breakdown it was Pitt -7, but I did say if Holstein was out, I was going to flip over Toledo. Was the right call. Lynch was in for Pittsburgh, had a couple really bad interceptions, one of them for a pick six. Duggar came in for Pittsburgh, freshman. He looks like he is the real deal. They've got a really good quarterback for Pittsburgh next season. He's probably going to start next year. He was fantastic, led Pittsburgh on the comeback. Toledo kicked a 50-some yard field goal. It was a pretty long field goal to go to overtime. Then we had six overtimes. Toledo stormed the field twice. Third time was the charm. They did get to storm the field. Bad blood between these two teams also. A couple ejections. Also, I mean, we had everything in this game. We had a blocked extra point return for a touchdown. We had Toledo, big man, defensive lineman, rumbling and stumbling down the sideline for a touchdown for Toledo. So this game was awesome to watch. And then we got to watch Rutgers. They only played three quarters, but they played a really good three quarters, enough to cover the spread +7. They did close +7.5. So if you got it at +7.5, good for you. But it didn't matter. +7 was the play. Kansas State did win the game outright. Rutgers just didn't play the fourth quarter. Kansas State played all four quarters. That was the difference in that game. 41-44, I think the final score was that one. Desmond Reed over 109.5 rushing plus receiving. Hopefully you just grabbed the rushing. If you couldn't do the combo plays, he had 140 plus rushing yards in the third quarter. Was an absolute monster for Pitt. Was a big reason why they stayed in that game for so long before they made the quarterback switch. So 3-0 day. Hopefully we can do the same thing on Friday. We are going to be starting with Texas Tech going up against Arkansas. Now, what I have done for these bowl games, because I have had some confusion on who's playing, who's not playing, I've been following this opt-out tracker online. I have two different websites that I use for players playing the bowl game. What I've done now is just I go to the Texas – so for these games, I'm going to the Texas Tech homepage and looking at their writers, who they have writing up this game. They work for Texas Tech, so I am going off of their articles, so they should be valid. We are going to start with Texas Tech here. They're 8-4 in the season, coming out of the Big 12. They did get a big win over West Virginia a couple games ago as a monster win for them. So they're coming into this game playing pretty well. For Arkansas, 6-6, stumbled against Missouri the last game of the season. Should have won that game, but they are in a bowl game. Sam Pittman leading them this season. I'm going to take Texas Tech. Now, the line the graphic says Arkansas money line, and what I like to do with these graphics is I like to do what my gut's telling me to do. I don't look at any stats before I make the graphics. Usually I don't change my mind, but looking at the stats in this one, looking at the players out in this one, I'm going to change my mind to Texas Tech. Probably shouldn't make the graphics before I look at the stats come bowl games. Probably won't do that from here on out. But usually I make the graphics, I make my pick, and then I go look at the numbers, go look at everything that's happening, go look at the news, and then usually I'll either keep my pick or change my pick. But this one, I've got to change it because Arkansas is going to be missing several key pieces. Texas Tech is going to be missing one of their key pieces, the quarterback, Morton. He's going to be out in this game. He's going to have shoulder surgery instead of playing this bowl game. Don't blame him whatsoever. They're going to have to lean on the freshman, Will Hammond. Wasn't great. I'll be honest. He wasn't great this season. Didn't see him very much. Only two total games this season. No starts for him. But I think Texas Tech's going to rely on that running game. We have a guy who's coming into this game, Taj Boyd, over 1,500 rushing yards in the season. They're going to lean on that running game. Both of these teams defensively haven't been great this season, so I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And when we're looking at high-scoring games, Arkansas has several key players out for them, including their running back, 800 yards, 15 touchdowns on the season, and their NFL talent wide receiver. His name's Andrew Armstrong, not going to be in this game. So we're missing a quarterback for Texas Tech. We're missing a couple key pieces for Arkansas. I think the running back and the receiver for Arkansas is going to be the bigger pieces, and I'm going to tell you why. The running back, 15 touchdowns. I already said that. The receiver, Armstrong, 1,140 yards. Only one touchdown in the year, but the next leading receiver has 491 yards. For the running back, 790 yards in the season. Next leading running back is Taylor Green, the quarterback, 521 yards. So they're missing two of the biggest pieces of their offense. I think that will make them struggle too much in this game to keep up with Texas Tech, even with a backup quarterback. I'm going to take Texas Tech here on the money line as the play, not Arkansas on the money line as the one there. Let's go to the next play. We have Texas A&M going up against USC. Texas A&M, Connor Weigman, he is not going to be playing in this game. He is transferring. That means it's going to be Marcel Reed for them, the freshman. He's looked pretty good this season, been in the back half of these games. He's been used with Connor Weigman a little bit, but usually it's just Reed out there. Weigman more of a passer in the pocket. Marcel Reed more of a dual threat guy. I do think he's going to be decent in this game, but looking at what this guy's saying on the USC Trojans page, he's looking back at the bowl game from last year, how USC was playing coming in this game. They haven't given up on the season. They played well in the bowl game last season. They're going to be back at LSU Field in this game where they started off the season. They're looking like they're going to be competitive in this game. The defense has been playing better, and they also have a quarterback who is going to be playing in this game, who has been in 3 games so far. Jaden Mavia is his name again. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Was not the start of this season. It was Miller Moss. Miller Moss was incredible for USC, but Jaden, over the last 3 games, has played Nebraska, UCLA, and Notre Dame. He reminds me a lot of Caleb Williams, and he kind of looks like Caleb Williams also. 906 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, has 3 rushing touchdowns as well. So that's 10 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions on the year, closing in on 1,000 passing yards in 3 games, and he put up 360 yards and 3 touchdowns going up against Notre Dame. This is a game I think USC can win outright. I'm going to take the +4 as the play. I think they're playing pretty good football. I know A&M's a pretty good team. I don't really trust Marcel Reed that much. I think USC can keep him in the pocket for the most part. If he can't use his legs, he's not very effective. So give me the Trojans here, +4 as the last play. Let's go to the player props. We're going to talk about a guy I just talked about. Jaden Mavia to go over his total passing yards as the play. Again, I just said his numbers. 360 yards in the last game going up against Notre Dame. Texas A&M on the season, they've been decent defensively. But go look at the last 2 games Texas A&M played in. Yeah, they played Texas pretty tight because they were playing for their lives. You know when they were also playing for their life? Against Auburn. They gave up 43 points to Auburn. Now, 2 of those touchdowns and 2 extra points were in overtime, but they still gave up 28-plus points to Auburn before the overtime. That is unacceptable. They got down in that game by 21 so early. Blink of an eye, the defense just did not look right. I don't know if the defense is that good anymore. I know that they've been decent on the season, but this is a bowl game. They're going to be missing several players on that side of the ball. We're going to see Mavia come in here and play ball like he's been playing for the last 3 games. He's easily going to go over this total passing yards. Again, 221-plus yards in 3 consecutive games. He's been throwing 3-plus touchdowns in 2 of the 3 games. He is balling right now. I'm going to take him over his total passing yards against Texas A&M as the first play. For the second play of the day, we have to go back to Texas Tech. And again, Morton's going to be out in this game, the quarterback. He was a stud this season, closing in on 3,500 yards, had 27 touchdowns. Texas Tech was scoring 35 points per game. They were top 10 in the nation in scoring. That's why I do think this game is going to be still high scoring. I just don't know if it's going to come through the air. I think Texas Tech's going to have to do it on the ground, and they've got a really good running back to do that. Taj Brooks, over his total rushing yards, is going to do the play here. 286 touches on the season for Brooks, 1,500 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns. He is getting some of the most workload we've seen in college football this season. He's had 20-plus touches in every single game but 1 this season rushing, and he's gone over 100-plus rushing yards in every game so far this season as well. So this one's easily going to be soaring over 100-plus rushing yards as the player prop. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that at 125-plus, but he's been an absolute stud this season. He's gotten in the end zone in every single game but 1 as well. So if you want some player prop touchdowns, I would start with Brooks, even take him 2+ against this Arkansas defense. I do think that's going to be a pretty competitive game, and I do think Texas Tech will be on top in that game, and I think Taj Brooks is going to be a big part of that. So I'm going to take his over total rushing yards against Arkansas as the final play of the day. Let's go to the NCAA football recap graphic. Texas Tech here on the money line, not Arkansas. I'm going to switch it over to Texas Tech on the money line. USC +4 will be the play there. Taj Brooks over his total rushing again. Could be 125+. I'm still going to play it. He's going to be 35, 40 touches in this game. I know that sounds extremely high, but 35, 40 touches is not out of the realm for this guy in this game. And then Jaden Mavia over his total passing yards as the final play of the day. Guys, that's going to do it for the NCAA football plays and props for Friday, December 27th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please share, drop a like on this video, and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.